Hey guys, Nerdarchist Dave here with Nerdarchy for Nerds by Nerds, hanging out with some of my Nerdarchy crew.
I'm Nate.
I'm Ted.
Yeah, we can start down that end. I'm Ryan.
So anyway, today we want to discuss offline gaming versus online gaming. And tabletop gaming we're talking about, of course, is Nerdarchy. What else will we be talking about?
I know, right? Like
Gambling,
MMO,
hustling.
yeah.
So
Blackjack.
Now, I never really got involved in this until we started sharing the Nerdarchy love with our people over at what's the Facebook
Tabletop
group?
RPG One Shot.
There you go.
It's a mouthful.
Yeah.
But the name there is exactly what it does.
Yeah, we actually tried to shorten it down to the acronym, which was just as bad. It still made like a long word. So anyway, me too. I had never gamed online until I encountered GM Juice, and then SR2 Joker, and Robert Over, AJ Pickett, and those guys. And I don't even remember. I think they started. Some of them started watching our videos and commenting. And then Tim Harper, I have to credit him because he invited me to join the RPG YouTube Brigade.
Right.
And that's where I kind of started connecting with those, meeting with those guys. And even though, gaming online is not a new thing, I think the One Shot group really kicked it into high gear with the number of games that are getting played.
Absolutely.
Well, for online games, I guess one thing that bears mentioning too would be a play-by-post sort of situation that you can set up as like a Facebook group or whatever.
Yeah, they're so lame.
Well, it's not my ideal way to do it.
It's too far removed from sitting down and talking.
Yeah,
to
I
people.
mean, there's too much lag time. Like, you got people that are super engaged, and then like other people have other real world life stuff going. Like, it'd almost be better if you at least would slot in a span of time that you're still just all engaged in doing it.
Well, I mean that's how I got a hold of. That's how I came in contact with Nerdarchist Nigel. He was running the play-by-post Facebook game, and the three of us got in on it, and like at first it was real compelling. Good things are going on, but as things in my life got hectic and stuff's going on with the wife and the kids and the house and the job, it was just like, all right, I'm not as engaged in this game, and then I totally lost track of what was going on, what was happening.
It's almost like going down the highway, being stuck in gridlock, and then you're going 60 miles an hour, and then all of a sudden you're stuck in gridlock. It has that kind of like annoying feel to the play-by-post.
Right.
So when we're talking gaming online, really, for this video anyway, we're talking Google Hangouts, we're talking Skype. We're talking
So some like voice over chat client.
yeah,
sort of thing.
Roll20 is another one.
Right.
But all the games I've taken have all been Theater of the Mind, and they've been through Google Hangouts, and they've gone pretty well. And there's pros and cons of all kinds of different gaming. The thing that's really kind of nice about online gaming is I get to game with people that live all over the world.
Right.
Yeah, that you would never sit down at a regular table with because they're over in Ireland or they're over in California or.
So let's look at what they have as similarities. What does both really contain? You still have to deal with the players. You still have to deal with people can be late to both. There's no way to say, all right, well, we're going to force this happening at such and such a time. So like the game that we were in the other night, we had a player who. Game was supposed to start at 9. We didn't get rolling until like 9:40.
True.
Yeah.
Which was good because you were having technical difficulties, which goes into another problem with online gaming.
Yeah.
There's always the problem for tech failure, and you see it all the time.
Unless you get laryngitis, you're not going to have a difficulty talking to the people across the table. But your mic doesn't work, and you got problems online.
My experience with online gaming is rather small. I've only done 2 games, one of which was SR2 Joker's Meat Grinder, and then SR2 Joker's Ninja Turtle game. And with the second game, I was having, I had 2 different computers. One I could get video, but the audio wasn't picking up. The other one I got audio, but the video wasn't picking up.
So did you just log in twice, and there's 2 feeds of you, one for the video, one for the audio?
Nah, I positioned the laptop, and I'm like, look, you can just go with the static picture of me, and
which is fine. That's all you really need for the game anyway. It is the audio. So now here's like 2 really big differences between offline and online. When you game offline, you have less of a pool of people to draw from, so you're kind of stuck with whoever you're stuck with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these jokers, right?
Yeah. And we've had good and bad players at our table, which is a whole nother video in itself.
But they make great stories.
They do.
After you survive the experience, they make great stories.
But online, I feel like, when you connect with the right people, you have the opportunity to game with like the cream of the crop.
The elites.
Yeah. So I like it. I like it for the sake that I've made friendships, with people that are all over the country and the world that I wouldn't have gotten to do, and I get to hang out with people that are really fun to role play with and game with, that I can't get to my table because they live in Michigan or because they're in New Zealand.
Or heck, even all the way up in North Jersey. I don't want to travel 3 hours to go game.
Right.
Yeah,
and then travel 3 hours back.
Right, although that one's a little bit feasible, at least. I mean,
yes, that
I
one's
can't get in
possible.
my car and get to New Zealand
without
a plane ride.
I mean, no
between.
offense to anybody who does that though, but no, I don't want to drive 3 hours for a game.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if you do it, that's great.
Yeah.
That's dedication.
We've had people who have done it to our game, but it's one of those things that
Stefan used to come from Connecticut.
That's right.
The average player is going to spend an hour commute each way tops.
Yeah.
So it's tough, but if you've got no one or very few people in your area who are into gaming, it's one of those things that's very easy. Especially if you go to the One Shot group, you can find people to game with, and you can find games, and who knows, maybe you can convince people to say, you know what, let's set up a regular thing. Let's set up an ongoing campaign.
Now, we're lucky because we live in an area that is heavily populated.
Right.
So we can actually find people to game with, that are within, an hour or less commute.
Well, over the decades, of us playing,
we've ebbed and flows as far as having people.
But we've had 30 to 40 different people at our gaming table.
Yeah.
A lot of them have been, cameos, or they were there for a handful of sessions. But I mean, we had people that were in the group for years, and then for one reason or another they leave.
Or they moved to Maine.
They moved to Maine.
Abandon us.
Or
making
join
us feel neglected.
some arm of the military.
Right. Yeah. It's annoying.
So there is all of that. So that being said, I like gaming. I prefer to game in person. I feel like everyone prefers to game in person.
If you've got that option, it's ideal. You can look at the people. You can all be there. You can pass character sheets, borrow dice.
You can all chip in for pizza.
You can all chip in for pizza.
Yeah, you cannot share in pizza when you're doing an online game. It doesn't work. You can't send it through the hard drive. You just shove it in. You get
gross.
Can I Skype this to you?
Yeah. I'm gonna Skype you. You PayPal me like $5, and I'll tell you how good this pizza was.
But if you don't have that option, if you're in a situation where the people aren't in your neck of the woods, it's an option, and it's viable. Years ago I wouldn't have thought about it, but
well, let me ask you a question. Now you've gamed. Did you feel like, and this should be pretty fresh because we just did a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game through Palladium.
Yes.
And I fucking hate Palladium, to be honest with you. But I'll play it if it means gaming with Juice and SR2 Joker and Ted here and Robert Ogre. These are great guys to game with, and I've said it before, I'll say it again, the system doesn't matter if you have the right people and the right game going on.
Absolutely. It's a role-playing game first and foremost. So the story, important, and Andrew did a wonderful job. The players, there was a lot of great role-playing. So the mechanics that we're not super thrilled with were such a small portion of the night that it didn't really matter all that much.
Which dice do I need to roll? Okay, fine. So
I'll just do it.
So that being said, do you feel like you lost anything for not playing that game live, in person?
The only thing that I would feel I missed out on would be looking across the table and seeing like everyone's reaction at once to something silly you said or something that Robert said or Juice said.
But during the game, did you feel that way, or is that in retrospect?
I guess it was probably looking back more like I was engrossed in the game, I'm staring at a laptop, but not that big a deal. And it's just, okay, you're there, you got the character sheet, you got the dice, and you technically got the people that you're looking at through the webcam.
Well, so I don't know what your technical experience was as far as it goes, but I know sometimes that happens with the online game, is sometimes people's audios don't exactly sync up, so you lose the flow of how people are talking, and the exchanges...
I know how to fix that.
Just one person talks at the time, all the time?
Most of the time, that and get a modern computer.
Right.
Yeah, something in this decade.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, because even when we did, like, the Frozen Chosen game, it was just, like, people were trying to RP, but, in the course of regular conversation, people overtalk each other all the time, and that's just, like, at a tabletop, that'd be fine, and it'd feel like natural and organic, like, like Joss Whedon dialogue or whatever.
Yeah, it's very hard.
But
I would
in an
say,
online game...
if you turn down your bandwidth just a little bit, that should probably fix that.
I think it's talking about the same experience that people can have on a phone conversation. Right. You can't see someone's
the
nonverbal
signals,
cues that, hey, I want to say something.
Yeah,
like, I was going to interrupt Ryan, and then I decided to stop. But he knew I was going to talk, but you weren't looking at me, so you didn't know.
Right.
Yeah. So, on an online game, you only kind of see one guy at a time.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
but then, you know what it's like then? It's like reading a book.
What?
The format becomes that of reading a book.
That's true.
Because it does, because when you read a book, there's very rarely is there overlap. It's it's line by line.
Yeah, even if they interrupt.
Well, I mean, but you can do the thing with the ellipses, and then the other person goes, and then ellipses, and if you're having a real
Yeah, but you don't lose content from that. You don't lose understanding from it because you're seeing it's still split. It's not like they're printed the words over top of each other. So.
Well, that comes down to the person.
Maybe that'll be a new thing, Nate. They're gonna start printing. Write that down.
I want to cut. Whoever does that, I want to cut.
Overprinting the words, exactly. That'd be great.
So but I think what happens is you adapt as you start doing it. And the more games you play in, there was very little of that in the game that we played in. Mm-hmm. Want to know why? Because
everybody who's was doing it has done it many times before.
Yeah, I think I've got 10 online games under my belt, and I'm And I'm really one of the kindergartners in the group, really, compared to some of those other guys. They're running games and just every day.
And just to put out the shout out with that group. I mean, it's a great crowd, and they were so super enthused to have me in the game. And they're like, all right, come on, when are you gonna do something? When are you gonna run something? So I now have 2 games posted. That I'm going to run next month.
Right. It's a great feeling of camaraderie.
Yeah, absolutely.
And okay, so I just want to say one thing. Let's wrap, and we'll wrap this video up.
Oh, then I want to say one thing.
Okay. All right. You say your one thing, and then I'll say mine.
All right. My major thing against online gaming compared to in-person gaming is the friendships you develop. What if you want to go out and do something else? We're here. We're not gaming right now. I've been hanging out with most of you guys for 20 years, so.
I would argue with that. I would go, you know what? I actually want to go to Michigan now and hang out with Juice and SR2 Joker.
So you make special trips, okay. Well then.
AJ's a little bit tougher, but he's in New Zealand. But when we do that New Zealand tour...
World tour, Nerdarchy, world tour, world domination.
So, you're right. You can't just go pack up after the game or, get together and go out to dinner or play a board game or whatever. No. But now, I think it does spark these kinds of friendships where you go, I want to actually travel to some place in the country or the world and hang out
with my friends. Yeah. Okay.
Well, we can try to see is there going to be a con in that general area, and go to the con and see the guys.
Well, exactly. You know what I mean. So there's different things like that.
Good point.
The couch surfing GM.
All right, you've diminished how bad my con is to me. Okay.
And what's your final point?
Okay, it's not so much a point. The Tabletop RPG One Shot group. Go check it out. Get in there. Get in some games. But let me tell you how it came about. It came about from Juice doing one of his epic live chats, which lasts usually about 8 days. All right, maybe I'm exaggerating.
Did the candle oil burn the entire time?
I think so. Yeah. But they were talking about all these groups about role-playing games online on Facebook where they're all theory. No one's actually playing games. They're like, we should just start a group where we play games. And the next day, Juice just went out and did it. But you can find his channel, Tabletop Gaming with Juice on YouTube as well. He's got a good channel. SR2 Joker, great channel. AJ Pickett, great channel. And Robert Ogre is funny as shit. So, with that being said, they just went out and did it, and it started this group, and it's probably up to 900 members now. And they, I was looking through the event tab today today or yesterday because of you putting up your event, and there's tons of things going on. I almost jumped into a 5e game last night.
And it was just randomly off
for a bunch of noobs that wanted to play, and like, we need someone to DM. I'm like, oh, but I have my in-laws over and the kids. And
where did Dave go? He's down in the basement doing something.
There was stuff going on, so but I was so tempted, and I knew I had an early morning today, so I was so tempted to just jump on there and just wing something for these guys.
So get in there, check it out, join the games, watch the games. If you wanna just sit in and see what it's like without getting involved, you can just watch.
Yeah, exactly. So with that,
it's a little creepy, but
Dude, it happens all the time.
No, I'm just messing.
Guys, like, comment, subscribe, and share, and let us know what you feel about gaming offline versus online.
Check us out on Facebook.
Hang out with us on nerdarchy.com.
And you can let us know in a conversation on Reddit.
Till next time,
Stay nerdy.